So, let me pull this up. I want to talk about the frequencies of this day. And today is a special day because it begins, hold on, it ends rather, the last cycle of 65 days called the season of the sun. Okay, and if you don't know, I follow the Dreamspell timekeeping system, which is inspired by the Mayan Zocan and also the solar cycle. I also follow the 13 moon cycles. Okay, and so today is the last day of a 65-day season. And so, what is required of you today is to reflect. Hey, sugar baby, reflect on what have you been giving your life force to over the last 65 days. That's about 2 months. Thank you for that. What have you been giving your life force to? Have you been feeling inspired, creative, encouraged? Or have you been feeling complex, confused, chaotic, unsure, drained, and the like? It's time for you to reflect because tomorrow we start a brand new cycle. And who wants to start a brand new cycle with the same old stuff? Nobody. Confused and chaotic, okay? And we're gonna guide ourselves into the next cycle, which begins tomorrow. What have you been giving your attention to? What have you been putting your mind on? Has it been other people's actions, other people's words? If so, depending on who you have around you, you may feel inspired or you may feel drained. If you have inspirational people around you, more than likely, when you replay those inspirational experiences and conversations, you will feel inspired. Why do you feel inspired? Because you resonate with the inspiration. It touches something in you, right? Well, yes or no? When you're around someone who's inspirational, you feel that experience inside. You leave feeling uplifted and energized. You feel like more of yourself, yes or no? Yes. And the same thing is true when you're around people who exude chaotic energies. It resonates with the chaos in you. It stirs it up, and you feel drained. Everything and every person, and I'm not talking this talk because it's spiritual. I'm not talking this talk because someone told it to me or because I'm trying to believe it. I'm telling you what's true. Every person, everything, every experience is resonating with something in you. The question is, what does it resonate with? How are you like it? Okay, got you, Laura. How are you like the situation? How do you have a tendency toward that situation? And why? These are good questions. When you give your energy to something, your attentional energy, you're saying to your psyche, this is important. And the more attention you pay to it, the heightened the frequency, the more heightened the frequency becomes. It becomes super important. You build things into importance and you diminish things out of importance. If you have spaces within yourself that dwell in pain and produce painful interpretations of reality, then you experience the result of that. That's the karma or the consequence of it. You experience the consequence of your own thought processes. Hey, J Mac, thank you for that. So if you don't like the way that you feel, thank you. If you don't like the way that you feel, you must update what you believe. You must do that. There's no way around it. If you don't update what you believe, you're going to feel better this time. And then next time, you're going to go back to the frequency of feeling low. Think about this. Think about a time where you decided you were not going to let somebody get on your nerves. You just wasn't going to let it happen. Thank you for liking the live. Have you ever done that? Hey, String Alchemist. Have you ever made that decision? I'm not letting this person get to me. I'm going to let that roll off my back. I'm going to let it go in one ear and out the other, right? And sometimes you were successful and sometimes you were not. Yes or no? Yeah. Sometimes you just let it slide. You left feeling real good. And sometimes it got you. And you thought, dang, I said I wasn't going to let that happen. Why did it happen? Because you still have the same belief system about it. It's still important to you. You're right. Sometimes it just won't let go because you are attached to the way that you see it. You're attached to the offense. You're attached to the irritation. You're attached to the pain. This is true. It's your attachment to the way that you see it that makes this up for grabs every time. Like 1 minute is good, next minute it's not. When your will is high because you are full, you react like you want to react. When you're tired, irritated, or not present, you get knocked off your pivot. At some point, you got to decide that I want to be more stable than this. At some point, you have to decide that hanging on to your belief about this is less important than the way that you feel. When I decided that the way that I feel is of the utmost importance, thank you, King of Hearts, when I made that decision, then that meant I had to start detaching from belief systems that bring about that feeling. Let me give you an example. Let me know if that makes sense. I want to give examples because we're going into this next season tomorrow with a newness of mind. We're not going to begin another 65 days the way we began the last 65 days. We're not going to have the same experience as the last 65 days beginning tomorrow because we're going to be a lot more intentional, and I'm here to help you. If you're new, say hey, and if you're ready, say yes for the example. Okay. So I'm going to use a very common example that most people believe. If you believe that when someone isn't hearing you, that they don't care, therefore you're not important, you're going to feel like someone who is uncared for and not important. You know what that feels like? That feels like betrayal. That feels like resentment. That feels like shame. That feels like, what else? Add some words there. What does it feel like when you feel uncared for, unheard? Hey, babe. What does it feel like when you feel uncared for, unheard? Hey, oh, there's the hello. I still get it, right? I'm waiting for answers. Give me some words. What does it feel like when you feel uncared for and unheard? Just type one word. When I feel uncared for, worthless, alone, right? Resentful, yes. And when you feel worthlessness, aloneness, and resentment, do you feel expanded and inspired, or do you feel contracted and small? Number one or two. One is expanded and inspired. You feel small. You feel contracted. That smallness, that smallness doesn't feel good, does it? No, it doesn't. And you store that smallness within your being. You push it down. So you begin to store up small energy. And every time you get around the person, you remember how small you feel, right? You remember how worthless you feel. You remember how insignificant you feel, or uncared for, or how alone. You remember that. Yet, we will still keep our attachment to the thought process that brings that about. We'll stay attached to it because we don't know how to take care of our emotional body. Nobody ever said that how you feel matters. Well, I'm telling you how you feel matters, but I'm not telling you, hey, never broken. I'm not telling you to say that to other people because you've been fussing about that with other people, haven't you? How I feel matters and what I think matters and what I want matters. And you're going to listen to me so much so that you try to over explain things, you yell, you slam, you withdraw, you go silent, you go passive, you get passive aggressive, you do all kind of stuff out of that smallness. You do that because that is the frequency of smallness. And you will say, I know I'm big, I know I'm massive, but you operate from smallness when you do that. Can you see that? I'm going somewhere with this. I'm not saying that being heard and such is not important. What I'm contending with is the way you deal with it. How you feel has got to become real important. Now, some people go the egotistical route. They go, well, if they don't talk to me, I'm not talking to them. And that's more contraction, more smallness. Or they go, well, I'm just not going to, whatever. You get smaller and smaller and smaller. You're just like a giant star collapsing upon itself. Pretty soon, it's going to explode. So what do you need to do? In order to shift how you feel when that happens, number one, you're going to have to acknowledge, I'm attached to this painful point of view. You have to acknowledge that. I'm attached to it. Because every time this person does this, I feel the same way. I think the same thing. I say the same things. I do the same fuss. I tell myself the same things. And then I get frustrated with myself because I keep wanting something that someone else is not doing or is unable to do. Am I telling the truth or not? You got to acknowledge I'm attached to suffering. And so much so attached that you will fight and resist people that try to get you to release your grip on it. You're that attached. You're so attached to suffering that you think you have a right to it, and you do. You do have a right to being attached to the pain and suffering because it's your free will, it's your choice. But eventually, you're going to get tired of feeling how you feel because the people are going to keep being the people that they are. And you're going to be faced with a choice. Let me know if this makes sense. Some people need to stay attached to suffering a little longer. Some people need to stay attached to chaos a little longer. Some people need to believe that they are not for drama a little longer. You say you don't like drama, but you're really attached to it because every time drama comes up, you do the same thing. You resonate with drama. Drama is the suffering. And you would say, no, it's them. No, it's also you. You are characters in the same play. It's called drama. So the question is, how do we get out of it? And I'm going to pause because y'all not talking to me. Laura, I know you're at work. Who else can talk to me? Is this making sense? Can about 3 people share this video, please? Hey, Kim. Hey, Skywalker. So, can you admit that up until now you've been attached to suffering and you were unaware of how? And I'm not telling you something I read in a book. I'm telling you something I know. I'm telling you something because it's my world, it's my life, so I know it's possible. Sometimes people are drawn to drama because they are lacking. Sometimes they create drama because they don't know that they're doing it. That too. Hey, 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 sounds. Yes. Sometimes they don't know that the drama is really in their belief systems. Sometimes they don't know that the drama is really in their suffering mindsets and lack and all of the things, right? And I'm not condemning anyone here. I'm here to help someone feel better. My podcast, my YouTube channel is called The Healthy Happy Life Show. I say I'm here to help you live a healthier and a happier life, right? I'm not here to tussle. I'm not here to condemn you, to judge you. I'm here to call it what it is so you can make a decision whether or not you want to stay there, right? That's also why I've been running the challenge that I've been running, the 28-day challenge, Purify Your Speech. We're now integrating those concepts. So if you're interested in something like that, I can put you in my group. Hey, Jessica. So step 1 is, up until now, I've been attached to some very suffering mindsets because you've been practicing them for years. Imagine if the thing happened when you were 3, you've been practicing that since you were 3. It makes sense why it comes natural. If the thing happened last year, then maybe you've been practicing it for 365 days straight. So then it makes sense why you continue to feel the same thing. Hey, Kingdom, what's up? Right? So now that you understand that the attachment is real within you, that you carry it within you, and even if the other people change, let me tell you this is the truth. If you keep the same attachment and the person changes, then you're going to face that situation with another person because you didn't change. Something outside of you changed. So you're going to be back in the situation again, wondering, how did I get here? I keep doing this. Because you didn't shift. You kept saying it was them. I'm trying to drive this point home that this is happening in you. It's a creation from you, experienced by you, with them. Yeah. And I got to keep saying this different ways because I don't want to assume that y'all understand. I want to say it different ways so I could hit it and from all different angles. Anytime you say, I feel this way because they do this, you're not changing. You're going to feel the same way. You wonder why that feeling has followed you for a lifetime? You wonder why that feeling has followed you from relationship to relationship? Because it's in you. It's the way you process things. If you want to shift your experience, you got to shift what you believe, not what you think. If you shift what you believe, that frequency is going to churn out different kinds of thoughts. For example, if I'm on the frequency of excitement, because I believe something that's about to happen is exciting, that belief system is going to generate excitement type of thoughts. That's what I'm going to feel. If I feel something is dreadful and I'm dreading it, then if I believe something is dreadful, then that belief is going to churn out thoughts of that frequency about how dreadful it is, how much you don't want to do it, how much you didn't want to do it last time, how much energy it's going to take. Does that make sense? Let me know. I'm really presenting the case that everything is happening inside of you. And if you want to shift what you feel, then you must shift what you believe, because your beliefs churn out the thoughts. Your frequency, if you like to talk about it in terms of energy, it's not your neighbor, it's not your boss, it's not your mother, your father, your sister, or your brother. It's not me even. It's happening within you based upon what you believe. So now, I'm asking you to reflect over the last 65 days. I did it when we first popped on. I'm asking it again if you just popped on. The last 2 months, roughly. Think about experiences that you didn't like. Then I want you to locate the belief system. What do you believe about those experiences? Once you locate the belief system, ask yourself, what universal truth can I apply here? Once you locate the universal truth, you might have to do some searching. Let me tell you what my son told me yesterday, and I loved it. He's 14, and I sent him a video of KRS-One. It's the video that most people look at when he talks about you are the voice inside. And the voice is in a different dimension. The voice is not in this body's dimension. The voice is connected to this dimension, but it is not in this dimension. And so he said to me, I've been watching his videos, and one thing stuck out to me. And I said, what stuck out to you? He said, instead of looking for God outside, why don't I be God? I said, okay, well, what does that look like for you? He said, realizing that everything that happens must happen, but I get to control how I take it in. And I get to create situations that feel good to me. And I said, yes, son. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm saying the same thing to you. I'm not asking you to deny what's going on. I'm not asking you to deny your desires. I'm asking you to shift what you believe about it. Not what you think right now because you're tired. Because sometimes you try to shift something because you're tired. I'm tired, so I'm just going to believe that everything is as it should be. That's not changing a belief system. That's trying to manage your thoughts because you're tired. That's not shifting your belief system because you realize that you are God. It's two different frequencies. One is contracted. You're trying to shift out, and the source of it is contraction. I'm tired. I'm just going to let them be. I'm just going to let it be. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do that. That is not empowered speech or thinking. It may be a step in the right direction, but one day you're going to have to learn how to create from your divinity and not your tiredness. Let me know if that makes sense. Because when you begin to realize how divine you are, you don't need contraction to cause you to shift. I'm tired. I'm just going to do this. That's not the level I'm talking about. That's not the frequency I'm on. So I'm asking you to reflect over the last 64 days. Where have you done that? You got tired, you got aggravated, you got frustrated, and you were like, I'm just going to do this or that. You're still in a disempowered energy. You haven't changed. It's going to happen again. It's not going to happen again because you haven't changed. You're going to experience it again because you haven't changed. Hello? Let me give you an example. Let's say you are in an argument and someone slams the door. Now you're tired. of them slamming the door. So you're going to decide not to care. I'm going to do this. And your head start moving like that, right? You could tell when you're feeling disempowered. You could feel the energy because it looked like that. That's when you're in a disempowered energy. You're contracted. Even the motions get contracted. Tell the truth. Like, you know when you're disempowered. Like, I don't think if you felt empowered, you would be doing all of that. You wouldn't. Think about when you feel open. You don't be doing that. I'm trying to help somebody because it's all over social media and people begin to take on the same mannerisms, not even assessing whether or not that mannerism is the frequency that they want to be on. They just start doing things in autopilot. Okay? Now, enter your new belief system. You realize that people sometimes slam a door because they need to release energy, because they're feeling frustrated or whatever. So you're in an intense conversation and they slam the door. This time, because your belief changed, you don't get tired. I'm tired of them doing this. You go, okay, they had to release some energy. I've been there before. I'm not going to place a lot of importance on that. You move on to the next thing. Do you see the difference? So many people are trying to heal and change from contraction. It keeps it around so much longer because you're attached. You're attached to the same thought processes. Therefore, you're attached to the same interpretations. And you can't help but keep experiencing the same thing. And you try and try again from that same space. And sometimes you're successful, but most of the time you are not. Is this true or false? I'm going to wait. True or false? But you want to be in peace. But you don't have that frequency logged into your autopilot yet. And that's what I'm asking you to reflect upon the last 64 days where these things have happened. Because tomorrow we go into a brand new season. It's the season of the serpent. Let me make sure I'm telling you correctly. Hold on a second. It's the season of the serpent, and the serpent is about your life force. Let me read to you about it really quick. Tomorrow begins a brand new 65-day season. Do you want to bring that same powerlessness into the next season? Do you want to bring that same contraction into the next season, the same experiences? Listen, you got the same people and the same stuff in your life every day, and you are also the same when you bring it into your next cycle. I encourage you not to. Let me read about the serpent. The serpent's power is life force. What I'm asking you to do is to take a step into the next season of maximizing your life force through changing your belief systems. We just left the sun season. The last 65 days have been a heightened frequency of clarity, of passion being shined upon you so that you can go into this next season in an empowered way. The sun brought things to light about yourself, about the ways you think, how you believe, how you feel inside, how you contract and such. All of that was brought to the light. So now, beginning tomorrow, you go into this next season, thank you gift basket, with a new awareness, with intention. Your life force matters. So what are you going to be doing tonight? You're going to be reflecting, you're going to be locating those experiences that I just talked about. and you're going to find the appropriate universal truth. And you're going to keep thinking on that universal truth and applying it until it's your reality. If you keep going back to the old thought, you're going to keep having the same experience. Nobody is causing you to have the same experience but you, even if they're doing the same thing. Let me say that again. Even if people keep doing the same thing, they're not causing you to have the same experience. The patterns in you cause you to have the same experience, your attachment to them. I'm asking you to let go of belief systems that don't serve you. Going back to how you feel. How you feel has to become so paramount, so essential, so important that even your own belief systems, you will not allow them to bring you down. It's not about guarding yourself against people. It's the step that I'm asking you to take now is to examine your inner stance. Where are you creating mayhem inside of you? You need to change that belief system, not just control the thought, not just think a different thought, not just redirect the thought, not just distract. You have to change the whole entire belief system and then practice it until your mind is rewired. The action is to continue to exist in spite of hardship, difficulty, and challenge. The essence of this is an instinct. You want this to become so natural that it's like an instinct. Okay?
Hey, how are y'all? Good.
That'd be you. That would be whistling.
If you deal with contractions because other people are doing something, saying something, or being something, you can shift it. So I encourage you to go into this next 65-day season, the Red Serpent, with some intention, with some awareness, and some strategy. I have a mentorship group that I am running right now. If you want to be a part of it, you can let me know. I'll add you in. I also have a divine utterance group with people who really want support and shifting their words. Your words matter. Think about this. Sometimes people can talk a certain way and you can feel so attracted to them, the way they think, the way they view life, right? Yes or no if you ever experienced that. If you ever been around a person where you just love how they interpret life. And I'm talking about just their words. Like, you could listen to them forever, right? Why is that? Because their divine utterance, right, is something attractive. You just want to sit around them, right? Now think about people who have unattractive speech patterns. It's contracted, it's whatever. You try to get away from them. You don't want to sit there for a significant amount of time, if at all. And if it's somebody that you don't know, you're definitely not going to reach out and try to talk to them, right? Hey, Big Ken, yes or no? Just imagine if I was sitting here in some kind of contraction and nastiness or energy, would you really want to be sitting in it? You got enough of that within yourself to work with. Why take in somebody else's, right? But when you get in front of a being who has a divine utterance, it flows, it's truth. It's light, it's expansive. You want more of that. Your soul tells you what you need more of. When your soul opens, you want more of that. You can become more of that. Your speech matters. Think about just on TikTok. Just think about on TikTok. Let's say a person has a page and they look so charming and they look so smooth and so charismatic, but they're not saying anything. Think about that. They have the right music, they have the right look, they have the right look in their eyes, they have the right angles, right? And they look attractive. And then you find a video where they're speaking and they're talking like this, that motherfucker, she, and immediately you click off the page, you'll be like, ooh. Eh, yes or no? I'm trying to tell you how your speech is part of your frequency. Have you ever experienced that? They start talking and you be like, ooh, right. And let's say, right, oh, listen. So let's say they never spoke on their page, right? And you see they live, so you might get excited and be like, oh, I caught him. Let me see. And they just got some nasty energy in the speech. You click off that live so fast, they might be saying, oh, hey, hey, and you gone faster than they can read your name. Your speech matters. Your speech is attractive to some and unattractive to some. And you got to decide what you're trying to attract. When you have a certain frequency of speech, you're trying to attract a like frequency. No expanded being is going to come and sit and listen to you contract for too long. If they do, they must be trying to see something. When it's just a frequency. That's why I don't like scrolling social media that much, because I hear the frequency and I be like, oh, it feels like that. And it's not about the person, it's about how I experience it on the inside. And I don't want to change that. I don't want to become more tolerable for that. I really don't. Now, if I got into some type of work environment where there were a lot of people like that, I might want to shift how I think about that. But for me, it's guiding me to stay off of that frequency. I don't want it. And when I see people talk in a certain way that I used to talk, have you ever, let me ask you this, has Facebook ever showed you a memory of yourself and you looked at that self like, what in the world was I thinking? Because now all of these platforms want to show you memories. Even the iPhone is showing memories now. And you think to yourself, dang, I was in that space. And you get a little cringe, don't you? And you got to work yourself out of the cringe, like, ooh, ooh. Because the energy coming out of your mouth matters. Hey, Ralph, y'all ever experienced that with yourself? I have. Ooh, yes. And you get a little cringe and you got to remind yourself, I'm growing. Ooh. Mm. Because how you speak matters, right? And you need to govern your speech such that when you look back on yourself, this is about yourself. When you look back on yourself in your videos, you feel inspired. Imagine if you don't feel inspired by your own videos. What is that saying? You're growing. Hopefully. I hope that's what it's saying. If you don't feel inspired by your own memories, hopefully you can say, I've grown. Hopefully. And when you do your videos today, ask yourself, would I be happy to see this 5 years from now as a note to my future self? This is not about shifting to meet what other people think about you. It's about shifting to meet what you think about you. Are you rising to your own standard and your own occasion? Are you presenting yourself the way you see yourself? Absolutely. Your speech is depicting how you see yourself. And you can shift that if you don't like it. So tomorrow, we begin a brand new 65-day season. It's the season of the serpent. It's about life force. It's about survival. It's about instinct or integration. I wouldn't change them either. But what I am asking us to realize is that you have a visceral reaction to them. That's the cringe, right? And why do you have that? Because there's a frequency. And you get to see, has my frequency shifted? Am I still on that frequency in some ways? Do I want to shift? It's all about self reflection, right? But initially, you have a reaction to it. Like I have seen videos of myself from like 2008 or something like that where I don't even want to listen to what I'm saying. I just don't even want to. I remember it, and that's enough to see that I'm so grateful for evolution. Because at the time that I posted those videos, I wasn't thinking anything of it. You know, it is said that consciousness is different. No, reality differs according to your state of consciousness. And I read an analogy that it is impossible for a fly to have the consciousness of a human being. They're different states of consciousness, right? So back then, there was a lower vibrational state of consciousness. Okay? So reflect, wrapping this up. Thank you, gift basket. Oh, thank you. Reflect over your last 64 days. See where you've been contracted. See what you need to shift. And let's go into tomorrow with new belief systems to integrate and practice. I have a mentorship program. You can join that. Let me know. Now, here's the newest thing I just posted about. If you're over 40, but you don't have to be over 40, but I'm really talking to people over 40. Do I have any over 40 people here? Do I have any people over 40? This class isn't only for over 40, but I'm talking directly to over 40. Okay? The next part, do you feel stiff in your body? Stuck in your body? When you bend over, do you be like, ugh? Or it takes some effort when you reach up? Let's do an assessment. Can we do an assessment real quick? No matter what age you are, sit up nice and tall in your spine. If you can, put your feet on the ground. Now, reach your right arm up right alongside of your ear, right there. And reach your left arm up right alongside of your ear. And hold right there. Okay. Can you keep your arms up here? Is it a challenge? Is it easy? We're talking about arms right alongside of the ear, not here. Here. Keep it up, keep it up. You can't type right now. Just hold it up and release, shake it out. Were you able to keep your arms up over your ear? It's shoulder mobility is what we're talking about. I mean, not over your ear, alongside of your ear. Or was it slightly in front as you sat up nice and tall? Now, can you do that while squatting? I don't think the chat is doing it. Now, let's stand up and do it while squatting. Let me see if my cord will reach. Arms right alongside of your ears. It's called an overhead squat. Now keep your arms right at the side of your ear, not in front, up here. Okay, good. So if you feel stuck in your body, that could be your shoulders, that could be your hips, your back, your hamstrings, your knees, right? Then this class is for you. It's directed toward people over 40 who feel stuck in their body, stiff in their bodies, and they want to get better and they're ready to get started. They don't want to feel stuck anymore, right? I have a stretch class Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so I have a link in my link tree where you can sign up. I'm specifically targeting people over 40 who feel stuck in their bodies in some kind of way. Stuck in your joints, stuck in some body part, some muscle. Now, we know that you don't have to be over 40 to feel stuck somewhere. So you're still invited, okay? But it's time to unlock your joints. It's time to unlock your flexibility. It's time to do that. Some people are not naturally flexible. Some people have to put effort toward it. I'm one of those people. I didn't just wake up with flexibility. My daughter is a natural. She's been flexible since whenever.